Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 15 ranked online gameplay in the bantamweight division, and we're going to be using none other than Cody Garbrandt. And Cody on this game, for those of you who don't know, he's a glitch, especially in this division. I mean, he hits so hard and so fast. His boxing is beautiful really. And we're coming up against Petr Yan, who I think is the most well-rounded fighter in this division. He's probably my favourite fighter to use just because how good his stand-up is, how powerful his hands are, and he's a perfect anti-wrestler. You're coming up against Aljamain Sterling a lot in this division, Henry Cejudo, and with Yan you can really like counter that. But Cody, he's such a good option as well. And now you've got like a worse Cody, which is the Rob Font he was actually fighting against. But in terms of pecking order for who I'd use, I'd still prefer to use Yan over Cody. But when I use Cody, I use a different... It's sort of the similar style. I try to push forwards more with Cody. Cody just has that power that if you pressure your opponent and you crack them once, the fight goes downhill from there. But obviously you've just got to be careful with the recovery and chin health of Cody. But when using Cody, I'm confident against pretty much any fighter. As long as it stays on the feet, then the fight should be yours for the taking, because the more you force these boxing exchanges, the more you're going to end up winning them, the quicker you finish the fight. And one thing I like to use with Cody, as I do with every fighter, doesn't matter who it is I need to work the lead leg. And especially against someone like Yan who has a lot of power, you take out the base, you take out the lead leg, they're not going to hit as hard, which means you can take a few more shots, which is very important, especially when you're using someone like Cody who doesn't have the greatest recovery stats or the greatest chin. But overall Cody's just a glitch. Like when you use in boxing, it just feels so free, he just feels faster than everyone else, he hits so much harder. It's literally like you're using a heavyweight against these bantamweights just because of how hard he hits. And as you can see, I'm being very aggressive. When I use Cody, although it's the opposite of what I think he should do in real life, I fight very aggressively. I really look to push forwards, and often or not my opponent, it's like a fluster, they don't know how to handle it, and the constant relentless pressure ends up tearing away at my opponent. As you can see, I've done a lot of damage to the lead leg already because I keep slipping them in where possible. And Cody's hooks just feel so strong, and I'm forcing my opponent to really engage with me because I'm not giving my opponent any room to breathe. And as you can see, I try to reset a bit, my opponent goes for the head kick. I'm starting to throw in a bit of fakes now. And even though we get caught up uppercut there, Cody's chin holds up, and it's the pressure fighting with Cody. It's what I like to utilise. I really go for it. And as you can see, I've got my opponent in round one going for takedowns with Petr Yan. I believe this is the second one he shot. And as you can see, my right hook hits in there, and we get the knockdown. So this has been an extremely successful first round. I mean, we've got the leg health event, we've got the knockdown. We've done a lot of damage to the head and leg, obviously. We get another stun here, and it's just constant pressure. This round for my opponent, it couldn't have gone any worse. And we had the one takedown he missed and one takedown denial, so that's just good for morale. And so right now my opponent, he needs to come out in the second round, and he has to do something different. As you can see there, through 74, I landed 74 total strikes in that round. That's a very high output, and across the period of 5 rounds, if you're coming up against an opponent that's very good, that might not be feasible. Obviously, if an opponent's good and you're throwing that many strikes, they're going to look to drain your body. And as you can see there, we get stunned, but we block the takedown, this was a very key moment in the fight. Was that as soon as he rocked me, I knew he was going to go for a takedown, just because the rounds before that, right now he wants to just hold me down. But as you can see, it's more of the same now. We're here, we're in his face. You can see I'm starting to work the body now, and one thing that I'm always very wary of is it's a 5-round fight, so where possible, rip the body, just make it easier for you in the later rounds. And I already know I've done good work to the head and lead leg of Petr Yan, so now it's really time to implement some of Cody's body uppercuts, body hooks, really look to drain my opponent. And right now it's the hooks that are landing. The hooks are doing a lot of damage. You can see my opponent is this is what happens when you pressure people. I know my opponent's stamina is zapped. I know it's going to be very low, a lot lower than mine. And even if I don't get to finish this round, I know it's coming. And as you can see, it's just constant flurries of attacks. It's 3-punch combinations, and whenever I back off, it's not backing off for the sake of no reason. It's just to give myself a little reset, just give myself a little break, think about what I want to do next, and I need to keep my opponent guessing, because all it takes is one hit from Jan, like we've seen with Cody's chin. It results in a stun. He takes me down, I could be in danger. And that's another thing that's underutilized, the teep kick. I love throwing the teep kick. It's such an effective tool, and the body uppercut is unreal. And as you can see here, we're in that flow state. If you look at some of these combinations right now, it's just coming so effortlessly, and it's so hard for my opponents to predict what's going on. As you see, get the drop here, and then we get the finish. So yeah, that was me using Cody Garbrandt, and it's just to show you the guy he's such a glitch. The combinations you can do with him on the feet are just unreal. And of course he's primarily a boxer, that's where his bread and butter is, but don't get it twisted, Cody can wrestle. If someone takes you down, it's not the end of the world. Obviously it's just not where you want to be, because that's not his forte, but he can really hold his own, and his kicking game is, I think, very underrated as well. I think kicks in general in this game aren't utilised the way they should be. But this video here is just to show that I'm coming up against Petr Yan, who's obviously, I think, the best fighter in the division. This is how I'd handle it. With Cody, I'd pressure fight. So yeah, this is just to show you how I use Cody. Hopefully give you ideas and maybe some combinations to use and how to approach maybe coming up against Yan. But that's the video for today. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.